Now from Montreal with more on this big news for Swifties and lots of other people curious about this. Your reaction?
Well, that is some ring, Todd. That is some ring. Take a look at that thing. You could go blind if you look straight into it if the sun hits it in the right way. I mean, hey, this is, it's good, positive news. I mean, how often have we turned on the radio, not the radio, sorry, the TV recently and seen kind of negative headlines coming out of the U.S.? I mean, there's Trump this, Epstein that. Nice to hear a good, positive story every once in a while. And I think that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are very positive role models for people to aspire to be like.
Plus a new album, so there's lots going on for Taylor Swift. We talked a little bit about that podcast too.
An off season as well for Travis Kelce. And I mean, I could just imagine what the Super Bowl is going to be like next year if they were to potentially get in. But, she shows up at his games, has brought a whole new female audience to the NFL, which is interesting as well. I mean, they've both, and I think that in a lot of ways, he's brought a lot more men to her music as well. So I think that they both kind of opened up their fan bases respectively to each other's groups. And, the touch, your favorite gym teacher and favorite English teacher getting married is a nice little poke at them just being normal folks, of course, worth billions. But I mean, Taylor Swift is probably, I would say, the biggest star on the planet right now. So this could be theoretically the kind of pop culture wedding of the century, right? Like almost like the royal wedding in the US.
I was going to ask what you thought it might look like. Do you think it's going to be big, or do you think they might go sort of smaller and more intimate? What's your read?
It's so hard to say because, I mean, the thing is, Taylor Swift has really kind of brought her love life into her work. It's fed her work in a lot of ways, right? She's written a lot of stuff that's autobiographical. She's done whole albums about relationships that didn't pan out. So I imagine one that does pan out is going to somehow affect her work. I don't know necessarily that they're going to throw a massive kind of Lauren Sanchez, Jeff Bezos type wedding. I don't really see that happening. I think that would kind of alienate their fans, to be honest. That said, I would imagine the photo spreads are going to be much sought after. And I would imagine it'll be relatively well timed to her album potential new tour. Who knows? I mean, those two just keep getting bigger and bigger. And I imagine that if she does bring out a tour to go with her new album, it'll be even bigger than the Eras tour. And I think this is, like I said, positive information that I think makes people happy.
Hey, one last question, just bigger picture about her longevity and her ability to connect beyond, being a flash in the pan. I mean, she's been around now for a number of years. She's been able to engage with her fans in a pretty unprecedented level. You don't see people with this kind of superstardom come around very often at all, especially nowadays. What is the key to her success? What do you think, Chris?
I think the fact that she's the creative force behind her stuff, right? She's not just singing songs that are dreamt up by a producer or a record company for her. She writes a lot of her own stuff. She is famous for being a singer-songwriter. She directs a lot of her own videos. She's directing a movie. She is truly a creative force, and I think that people are invested in her creativity, and I think that they've liked seeing her grow over the years from, like you said, the time that she was this kind of 15-year-old pop star to now being a woman in her 30s who's, on the verge of starting a family and has matured along with her audience. And I think that that's the thing. She's really grown up with her audience. Her audience has grown up with her. And I think she's going to be popular for a long, long time to come.
Chris Bumbray, entertainment commentator, joining us from Montreal. Good to see you, Chris, as always. Thanks for this on Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce getting engaged.
My pleasure, Todd. Thank you for having me.